How does tied for the best record in baseball sound? The New York Mets continued their winning ways on Monday over the arch rival Philadelphia Phillies with a 5-4 win. The Mets are now tied for the best record in baseball at 16-7. Let the good times roll. Let the good times roll. You're watching Mets Daily. Make sure you subscribe to the channel below. Appreciate it if you did that. We're getting closer and closer to 2,000 subscribers. So please get us to 2,000. Appreciate it. Hit that thumbs up. Smash that thumbs up on the video. It helps the channel. And comment below. We'll read your top comments on tomorrow's post-game show. A 1 o'clock game. We'll be reacting to the series finale and facing Zach Wheeler tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Tonight, the Mets are back in action with Griffin Canning on the hill against Sanchez for the Phillies. And I'm Jake Brown at Jake Brown Radio on all social media. Make sure you follow me as well. El Capitan, the captain, put the C on his chest. Francisco Lindor, folks, enough's enough. You might not find naming a captain a big deal, but I think for a team with championship aspirations, the significance of putting the C on Lindor's jersey and making him the Mets captain, the first captain of the franchise since David Wright, would only make the most sense. And Lindor continues to shine. 2 home runs. On Monday, he did a Lindor special with a leadoff homer, but then he did it in the middle of the game too. And listen, the Mets need every last one of those runs. And that second one, you really felt like it was October again. You felt like Mets-Phillies and the Grand Slam. I was there a few rows from the field when Lindor hit that go-ahead Grand Slam that sent Citi Field into a frenzy. One of the great sports moments of my life when Lindor hit that Grand Slam. And something about playing the Phillies at Citi Field, he continues to shine. 2 homers. And like I said, the Mets needed every last run because Diaz scared you in the ninth, giving up that 3-run homer to Bryson Stott, making it a 5-4 game, and then he got the job done. And we'll talk about Edwin Diaz and this bullpen in just a little bit. But, I think it's time. And I tweeted it, and it went a little bit viral on Mets Twitter and on Twitter. When the Mets retire David Wright's number, Captain America, the captain of the Mets, in July, it's time for Wright to put the C on Lindor's chest. The captain is the ultimate teammate, a leader, and that's something Wright would do. Wright never wanted the spotlight. He didn't want the attention. He led by example, and that's what Francisco Lindor does. For the Mets franchise, for the Mets fans, the significance of that day and what it already is going to be with retiring Wright, a Mets legend, but if Wright could cement that C on Lindor's chest or hand him a jersey with the C, it would feed families. It would be a moment that lives in infamy. It's a moment that we'll never forget, and those people, 42,500 plus, sell out, of course, won't forget in July. And I know a lot of people say, no, that day's about right, and the day's still going to be about right. But if you finish that ceremony, his number goes in the rafters, and Wright ends the ceremony by handing Lindor a jersey with a C on it and saying, I'd like to make you the next captain of the Mets. Just brainstorm that in your head while you watch this video. Take 2 seconds and just brainstorm. David Wright naming Francisco Lindor captain right after his number 5 goes in the Citi Field rafters. Just brainstorm it. Hum, hum, hum. It would be majestic. And Wright, never got the chance to win a ring, and Lindor hasn't yet. But, man, the way this Mets team's playing, you have to have aspirations of that. And you could say, Jake, it's too early, and I agree, it's early. But it's not too early for me to tell you that this Mets team's for real, and I've been preaching it since the end of last season. If there's anyone who's been on this train that the Mets can win a ring, it's me, Jake Brown. So this isn't a new thing. I've been saying it over and over. I've been very confident in this team and in this franchise and the direction they're going. And I'm confident because the man at the top, the shortstop, number 12, Francisco Lindor. And, I hope that day comes because he has earned it. And Lindor is having an incredible April. This is a guy that has had bad Aprils before, and that's out the window. And we talk about Juan Soto and what he does for Pete Alonso. Juan Soto does a lot for Francisco Lindor, too. They have to pitch to Lindor, give him more pitch in the strike zone because they know Juan Soto's on deck. So I've talked about the domino effect Juan Soto has below him, but it's also the guy above him. Like, he's obviously worked miracles on Alonso, but he's also worked miracles on Francisco Lindor. And maybe it's the torpedo bat too, but man, it's fun watching Lindor when he's in his element because he's the face of this franchise. And he's El Capitan. Captain Lindor. Captain Lindor shines at Citi Field, and the Mets shine at Citi Field. 10-1 at home. They continue to have this dominant home field advantage. And it's, people want to mock the trumpets. They want to mock the pitching change, the light shows that they do, everything, the dance team. There is an aura. There is a home field advantage in Queens. And when I say just get in the playoffs, part of me is like, you know what? Let's win this damn division so we can have that home field aura and have that extra home game if you need in October. There's something there. The Mets, other than the 2 games against the Dodgers, it's the Dodgers. They won 3 playoff games at home at Citi Field, 3 of the 5, lost 2 to the Dodgers, won 2 against the Phillies, and then won game 5 against the Dodgers. This team's been playing really good at home this year and going back to last year. And the players talk about it. They talk about the meeting and they hear the crowd and they love the big crowds. And after the game, saying, keep showing up. We're loving the energy. It certainly has an impact where a Monday night against the Phillies in April feels like a playoff game. I mean, 35,430. And you might say that's not that many. For the Mets, they are very used to April weeknights having 25,000 people in the building. There were over 35,000 on a school night on a Monday in April. The hype is real. This isn't just, oh, look, they came for a bobblehead on the weekend. It's not just for the bobbleheads. They're here to see baseball. They're here to see winning baseball. And if the Mets keep playing like this, they're going to keep showing up in numbers where Monday, Tuesday nights over the summer are going to be 38, 39,000 near sellouts. And I don't want to hear comparisons to Yankee crowds on Monday night. The capacity is a 10,000 person difference. If this was Shea and it was 52, 55,000, the way the Mets are playing, I'm pretty confident they'd have 50,000 people in the building. So there is something a home cooking and what this team is doing in that building. And it's an element you want to be a part of. Let me know in the comments below. Have you been? Are you planning to go to games? Do you agree with me? Am I overhyping what's happening at Citi Field with the energy, with the light shows, with everything, with the crowd getting into it? I don't think I'm overhyping it because this team has lost 1 game at home. They're 5-0 with me in the building, by the way. But they are 10-1 at home so far. And that's no joke, being the best home team in the sport. And it helps guys coming out of the bullpen. The music, the energy, it helps them. It's helped my bald brother, Reed Garrett. Reed Garrett has been absolutely phenomenal for this Mets team. He's been incredible. Reed Garrett hasn't let up a run. And like I said to him, I said, you're my better-looking, bald, bearded brother. I mean, Reed Garrett, he's done this before. Last year he had that great first month, and then he came back down to earth. But it does seem like he has a confidence about him. He's let 0 earned runs. He's given up 1 run, 0 earned, 9 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 11 strikeouts, 4 walks. Reed Garrett comes in as a bridge guy in that 6th, 7th inning and gets out of jams. He did it last night. And man, following up a dominant performance from Tyler McGill, by the way, with 10 strikeouts, career high. Tyler McGill has proven, man, he might be here to stay. Like, Paul Blackburn might be forgotten about. Tyler McGill might be, part of this rotation for a while if he keeps pitching like this. But Reed Garrett's going to be part of big outings out of the bullpen for a while, the way he's pitching. What a performance from him. Max Craddock has been incredible. I thought that my one complaint for Monday night is he shouldn't have been out there for a 3rd inning. I thought the Mets not having anyone else ready was a little strange. Diaz kind of had a rush. He gives up the homer. Edwin Diaz so far, it's been very Jekyll and Hyde. He almost likes to get drama involved. He likes to, he has 6 walks. He's hit 2 batters. So he's put 8 guys either walk or hit by pitch so far this season through 9 2/3. That number has to come down. He's got a 5.59 ERA. That's a little bit inflated from an outing against Miami where he came in, mop-up duty, gave up 3 runs, and against the Braves, against the Athletics, giving up 2 runs. He has yet to blow a save, but he has been a little bit alarming so far. So, I think he's just got to locate his pitches a little bit better. His fastball he let right down the middle, a meatball last night. I'm not worried about Diaz yet. I know a lot of people are, but He's got to avoid the walk. He's got to trust his stuff, and he's just got to locate his pitches a little bit better, have better command. I think with the command, with the location, Diaz has the stuff where we shouldn't worry. But outside 2022, he's had moments he's shaky. He was shaky last year. He was out for the year in 2023. So we need to see that vintage Edwin Diaz, because this is a team we're talking about championship aspirations. They need to be able to close the door and close games. Luckily, they scored 5 runs that even though they gave up some in the ninth and he gave up that homer, they still won, but he's got to be better. Let me know in the comments, are you concerned about Edwin Diaz? What concerns do you have with the bullpen, if any at all? Let me know in the comments below. We'll read the top comments on tomorrow's post-game show. It's Tuesday, April 22nd. Smash that thumbs up. Subscribe to Mets Daily, at Mets Daily Show on Twitter. I'm Jake Brown Radio on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We have TikTok live pre- and post-game shows. Check that out. Subscribe, share the channel, and we'll catch you on a hump day tomorrow. Beat the Phillies again. Let's go, Mets. Thanks for watching Mets Daily.